Dara. Hello. I've been wanting to make this video. It's going to be the start of a whole series that we're going to be doing here based on Astro Geo travel. It's going to be like the old days when I would travel and share what I ate, who I met, how it felt to be there, what people are wearing, and it's based on what is going on astrogeographically. Hey, John B. So basically, I made a life tool, which many of you may know about, which is called Intro to Astrogeography, which is the astrology of place, like which places are really good for you and which are going to be more challenging, and based on the nutrients that that planet has, what you'll be getting in that particular area. So I have chosen to visit, hi my lovies, I have chosen to visit, thank you, I've chosen to visit Rome, Italy, and I've been there before in my 20s, and I always felt like Rome was home. I was startled years ago when I went, I didn't know about astrogeography, and I was startled with how much I felt like I had been there before. I literally remember thinking, this place feels so familiar, and it felt like I had lived there in a past lifetime. And now knowing astrogeography, I have the moon's node descending there, which the moon's node will represent karma and fate and a feeling of belonging on this particular angle of the moon's node. So it also has Neptune, and Neptune, it has a Neptune rising line for me. And you're welcome for sharing. This is interesting stuff. And when when I've been helping people, it's become apparent that it maps out our lives that we've had in the past, what has happened, who we've been with, what experiences we've had living in certain places. And so we get to know that it's a real thing. And then we get to kind of be the master of our own destiny by choosing to relocate to or travel to a place that has different energies for us to change and enhance our experiences and what we would like to manifest. So we get to do that via relocation. We get to do that through Astro Geo travel, which is what I'm embarking on. We also get to find out where is good for us to perhaps open up to love and open up, communicate with people, that a great place to do business on. So I highly recommend the Intro to Astro Geo life tool. And I am, for those of you who've taken it, you will have known that I did live on a Neptune line at one point in my life. And the fact that I'm going back to one is kind of startling, but I listened to my intuition. It kept saying Rome, and I thought about going to Lisbon, where I have Jupiter midheaven, which is, you know, opportunities and expansion with career and society, but I just kept feeling Rome. And so then I said, okay, well, what does it have for me there? There must be something that I need. And so because of the Neptune rising line, there will be most likely more intuition, more ability to tap into the psychic part of me. And these are all things that feel really good, because at home I am working a lot. I have a lot of responsibility. Even though I'm on my Jupiter rising line, I have a house, I have had Airbnbs, I have run businesses, and I work a lot all the time. And so to head into a place that feels Neptune dreamy for a couple weeks could feel really good. There's a certain amount of romanticism and artistry and illusion and fantasy, and that sounds like a nice dose to have when you've been working so hard and being so responsible. There's just romance in the air in Italy as it is. So the things that I want to watch out for, like, those are the beautiful things, getting higher spiritually. But I'd want to watch out for deception. I'd want to watch out for, let's see what I got here. I made some notes for us. The biggest thing is that you really, you get to your heights of spiritual connection, but it could be somewhat dangerously deceptive, because you may not see yourself clearly or see others clearly. So, but I'm looking forward to having creativity and new ideas come to me. So that's going to be really interesting. And how long I stay depends on how I feel there, and I will be sharing that. What does it feel? It's going to feel drastically different from knowing my Jupiter rising line. So I'm looking for tapping in more to my sensitivities and my imagination. And it's just amazing to me that the moon's node is there, and I did have fated connections. I'd actually met someone in my 20s, and I ended up not going back to the States with my friend who I was traveling with, and I stayed in Italy for 2 months because I met this man and we had a relationship, and I traveled and I had like this dreamy illusion kind of relationship. And when I got back to the States, it was like, that doesn't seem practical at all. I tried to fit it in to my reality and it didn't. So I will have some dreaminess, that's for sure. And we'll see if I head to Greece after, if I head to Lisbon, I'll know what energies I need after this particular trip. So I'm going to share what I'm bringing with me. I am bringing my Chinese herbs. I am bringing my Now Alchemy tinctures. So at least I will know I have those nutrients. I'm bringing spirulina, so I could have spirulina in water, my Now Alchemy, and my Four Sigmatic Chinese herbs. And I did find a bath. Baths are really important because baths help me release whatever energy has come on for the day. It literally goes down the drain when the water goes down the drain. So it's essential for me, and I know that. I needed to find a place with a kitchen, so I have this fantasy already of going to the market and the open air market and getting tomatoes and strawberries and chopping them in the kitchen and putting a little salt on them and making sure that I can, at least when I'm not having pizza or pasta, have my fruits and vegetables. I did have a dream about this trip where I was like, I remember saying, I can't leave until the food arrives, and I was waiting for fresh produce to bring with me. And it was like, the dream was like, no, do not worry about the food. So I'm going to be less worried about the food and more paying attention to the energies that are there for me. One of the drawbacks of being on a Neptune line is that it's so dreamy and watery. It's like you're underwater and everything looks, it's so dreamy. It's almost like a desire to return back to the womb. It's like spirituality and softness, and you might want to have a glass of wine, and then you might want to eat the food, and you might gain a little weight. So now that I know that heading in, I'm going to pay a particular attention to walking enough. So I did find a place with a bath, and it has a cute little kitchen, and even the Airbnb host, there's a super host, and I said, and I've never done this before, but I asked, do you think that you could get, and I'll pay for it, happy to pay for it, that somebody could put green juice and fruit and vegetables in the kitchen because I arrive late at night? And he said, yes, just tell me what you want. So I'm going to ask for some almond milk to make my tonics. I'm going to ask for some apples and some green juice, and at least when I wake up in the morning, I can like reorient myself without having to run out the door right away. So I'm so glad we're all together. You like my glasses? I look even smarter. Thank you, John B. So the food is great. Yes, Sally, we're here live online, and we're going to do some videos where I am sharing what experiences I'm having while Astro Geo traveling. And we shall see. It's kind of hard to leave here because I have my needs met. I have my Air One, green juices and food. I have my comfy bed. But part of this is a spiritual calling to go and to grow and to learn through other cultures, which is part of my next course that's coming out. It's a life tool. And the glasses are from the readers. So they're not like prescription for seeing far. They're the readers, and they're from a company called Caddis, Caddis. Caddis, and someone could post it in the comments. These are the Miklos, Miklos. Speaking of that Greek name, I am probably going to Greece after. I feel that, but then we'll see how I feel. It's a one-way ticket to my Neptune line, Shock of all shocks that I'm headed back to a Neptune line, but the moon descending is gonna feel like home. It's gonna feel like home. So yeah, you can't beat Greece. And I have some friends who want to meet me. So we are going to stay connected. I'm going to be making the videos like I did when I went to Paris. And the really good news is that things have gotten so much easier in the past 4 years. For uploading videos is instant via iCloud, and then I have someone who can edit them, so I don't have to struggle each night. Every night for the videos for Paris, I made clips throughout the day, and then when I got home at night, I edited them, put them together, and then I would have to upload them on a slow connection to my computer, and then there was another slower connection to YouTube, and almost inevitably every time I tried to post, the internet must have cut out while I was sleeping, and I'd have to start over again. And then I'd have to spend half my day at a co-work space so that I could get Wi-Fi. So now it's going to be experiencing, sharing, and then Emily, my editor, is going to put it all together. So we'll be able to have some food and fun and hopefully juices. This is carrot, lime, and coconut. And when you know you're headed to a line where you could possibly gain weight, and it happens to be in Italy, now we know, and we can mind the walking. Thank you so, so much. I'm feeling really good. I've done a lot of work, Sophie. I've done a lot of work to get to this place of freedom, the trajectory of wanting to rent out my whole place, the vision that I had so many years ago, that I would walk in the door, drop a bag at the top of the stairs, stay for a couple weeks, and then leave. Somebody else would stay here, and then I would come back. And I had that vision way before Airbnb. And then I started Airbnb one apartment, then another apartment, and now my upstairs. And I found someone to co-host the Airbnb. So this is the first time in my whole life that I have had this kind of freedom, where there's no particular thing that I'm obligated to come back for. There's love to come back for, and there's good vibes and good feelings being on my Jupiter rising line here in California, and Herbie and my daughter, but she can meet me, and there's so much I love here, but there's also the world to explore. So my Airbnb info, I would email host on Instagram. If you want to go on Instagram, hosted by Sarah is her name, and you can direct message her questions. She'll send you the links. You could also email Sarah at hostedbysarah.com, and you will know that there is filtered water for the whole house, and there's Mountain Valley water to drink when you arrive throughout your stay, and there's a container in your apartment, much like mine. Like that, exactly. And that you are around the corner from Moon Juice and across the street from Cafe Gratitude. And you can visit Herbie. So, thank you for the thumbs up. Jacqueline, if you're unable to find the time you were born, I have a great new life tool coming up where you don't need the time you were born. As far as you can work backwards with an astrologer that does astro. They do something called rectification based on major events in your life. They can work backwards and come up with a very, very, very close time. So, that's nice, Rosemary. I hope you do come this way. I seem to be getting younger. Thank you, John B. Thank you. So I just wanted to pop in and say that this is going to be leaving a Jupiter line, heading to a Neptune, dreamy, fantasy, illusion, delusion, loss of a sense of ego, and being underwater and being it's kind of fantastical, and sometimes you can't see yourself clearly and other people can't see you. It's not like the fame and reputation line, but it is the creativity line, and it is a line for spiritual awareness, which is something I would like to work on even more. I think that will be fun and dreamy and creative. So, and when it's not, I will move on. When it doesn't feel right anymore, then I will pick up and move to another place. So I hope you guys are going to be with me, which I imagine you are. And cheers. Here's to expansion. So good. Does anybody have any questions before I go? It's so nice to see you again. You're going to be seeing me more, because the relief of having somebody run the Airbnbs is so huge. Totally Dara's Adventures. We'll decide what to call it. I think it's going to be like Astro Geo Travel. And we'll see what we see. Hey, Monica. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. If not, I will see you later. Yeah, we're gonna do it again. It's so much fun, the travels. Yes, thank you, Elena. Subscribe. What does it mean if most of my lines are in the ocean or places I don't like? Well, it means that whatever places you do have available to you are nutrients that your soul chose and that you need, and that perhaps you should get on a boat. There has to be something. There has to be some little piece of juicy something. Did you take the course? Rosemary, I am about to set off making more videos on Astro Geo travels. This one's going to be a bit trippy and interesting, feeling like you're home, feeling romantic, feeling trippy, and kind of when I lived on a Neptune line for 10 years, I think back and there were a lot of hard spiritual things to go through, but there was also some beautiful things. It's where I found feng shui, and it's where I found compassionate communication. And so there's gifts under the sea. Capricorn, Sun, Cancer, Moon, that's you. That's the same as me. It'd be lovely. I would love to do some meetups. So I will most likely be announcing where I am and see if we can figure out something like that. Bring on the trips. Life is beauty. No matter what planetary energies, it still is beauty. There's always something there. There's a couple that I would definitely not go visit, and I will share that as well. You're originally from New Jersey. We're Jersey girls. So Sally, we're the same. Capricorn, Sun, Cancer, Moon. I have Virgo rising. So we'll share all of this and more. Subscribe. Poland sounds like fun. I will look and see my chart for Poland, but I'm kind of game to try all different energies. Like, I feel like experiencing them and sharing. So let the travels begin starting the 15th. So stay tuned, and I will see you soon. And you guys connect with each other. It's one big sweet family. Hugs. I'll see you soon.